Okay, so after importing the React and React DOM, we need some dependencies from the Apollo client, GraphQL Apollo client, that we will import, and we are going to import it from Apollo client. Okay, and what are those dependencies? Those dependencies are like Apollo client. One is Apollo client, another is in-memory cache. So that is in memory. Another important dependency is Apollo provider and HTTP link. And I like TypeScript because it populates everything. Here it is not. So yeah, we got all the definitions. Now we will create the HTTP link object, const HTTP link, and we are going to use this HTTP link. This you can think about like you are creating the instance of Axios here. This is going to create HTTP link for our server, and here you can pass the options like what is the URL of your server. Currently it is localhost 4000. This is where we were testing our HTTP GraphQL server. Now we'll talk about WebSocket server later. Let's say link here. I mean, if we are not using subscriptions and all, then the setup is fairly easy. What we need to do here is we can simply create client, which we need to pass in the Apollo provider, new Apollo client. Inside new Apollo client, you can pass the link. Here you can pass the link and the cache, which is new in memory. What was that? In memory cache dot restore is a method which you need to call with empty object. That is fine. Okay, but here we also want to try subscription. So what we will do is there are two different kind of operations, two different kind of link. One should be a WebSocket link, one should be HTTP link. Okay, so for that we are going to split our HTTP integration in two different ways, one WebSocket and the pure HTTP link. Okay, so we also create a WebSocket link, const ws link. WebSocket link will use the new WebSocket link, and that we are going to get from Apollo link WebSocket. Okay, and here we are going to use this WebSocket link, and inside this object we will pass the same, what is the URL and all these options. The URI is same. I think it's a URI, not URL. Okay, and in the options you can pass the reconnect true. Here you can pass options and reconnect true. I mean, this is a WebSocket connection. Now we have two kind of HTTP link, right? One is HTTP link, one is a WebSocket link. So how can we split this, right? So there is a split a utility in the Apollo link, which we are going to use this split utility, and we can say const link equal to split, and we are going to split the communication based on the type. I mean, if the type is operation or type is subscription, then we are going to pass all these two. So this is from my sample split, and here we are passing WebSocket link and HTTP link, and now this link you can pass to the Apollo client. Okay, I mean, in most of the cases you don't worry about the subscription. Okay, in that case, no, you don't need this link. Whatever the HTTP link you have created, you can directly pass that HTTP link here. Okay, Now, but here we also want to try something on the WebSocket. So let's do this. So now we have a client ready, and we can do react-dom.render, react-dom.render, and here we can just say, okay, like we have a Redux provider, I'm going to have Apollo provider, and then document.getElement by ID. That's it. This is our basic setup, right? What we did here is we just did the basic integration with simple Apollo provider, and we are passing this client which we have created using Apollo client. Okay, here we are passing the cache and the link. If you don't need a WebSocket, you can directly pass the HTTP link in the Apollo client. So Apollo client will say, okay, this is the HTTP interface in which I'm going to call the query and mutation. If you need a WebSocket, then use a split based on the type definition. This get definition method we are going to add from Apollo utilities. I mean, this basic setup I have done once. I'm just doing the same. These are all utilities, the split, get definition. Now this link you pass into the Apollo client. So now the basic setup is done, right? Now rest of the things is go inside your container components, make a GraphQL query and mutation using use query and use mutation. And we can also talk about subscriptions here because we are using it. Okay, thanks everyone.